Okay, so right now, underneath your feet, trees are having full conversations, not metaphorically, literally sending chemical messages, sharing food, and warning each other about danger through a network that covers almost every forest on Earth. 90% of all land plants are plugged into this thing. 90, and we only figured this out recently. So yeah, we've been wildly underestimating plants our entire lives. Let's fix that. Here's the deal. Plants can't run away from problems. They can't scream for help. So over millions of years, they built something better, a communication system that runs underground through the air and maybe even through sound. Scientists call the underground part the mycorrhizal network. Most people call it the Wood Wide Web. And honestly, that name is perfect. Picture this. Beneath every forest floor, there's a web of fungi, thin little threads called mycelium, weaving between tree roots and connecting them. 1 teaspoon of healthy forest soil contains miles of these threads, miles in a teaspoon. The fungi latch onto roots and basically become a living internet cable. Trees plug in and suddenly they can send nutrients and chemical signals to each other across huge distances. Now here's where it gets genuinely wild. Older trees, scientists call them mother trees. They actively send extra carbon and nutrients through this network to younger, smaller trees that can't get enough sunlight on their own. Dr. Suzanne Simard at the University of British Columbia spent decades proving this. She found that when a mother tree is dying, it dumps a massive load of carbon into the network like it's passing down an inheritance to the next generation. That's not a metaphor, that's a measured, documented chemical transaction happening in the dirt right now. But the network isn't just for sharing food, it's also an alarm system. When a plant gets attacked, say a caterpillar starts munching on its leaves, it sends chemical distress signals through the mycorrhizal network and through the air. These airborne signals are called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. Neighboring plants pick up those signals and immediately start producing their own defensive chemicals before the attackers even reach them. Dr. Richard Carbon, a plant ecologist, literally described it as plants eavesdropping on each other. They hear the danger coming and they arm up. That's a coordinated defense strategy from plants. Think about that, and it gets weirder. Some trees don't just warn their neighbors, they warn their own species specifically. Sagebrush plants release VOC signals that are picked up most strongly by other sagebrush plants nearby. It's like they're broadcasting on a frequency only their own kind can fully decode. Now, what about sound? This one sounds made up, but it's not. Research from the University of Missouri showed that plants can actually detect the sound vibrations of a caterpillar chewing nearby, and they ramp up their chemical defenses in response. Not to light, not to touch, to the vibration of chewing sounds. Plants are literally listening for their predators. Researchers also found that roots can detect water by sensing vibrations from flowing water underground. They grow toward it. The plant feels its way towards survival. Okay, here's the climax, the part that genuinely keeps me up at night. The oldest trees on Earth, like the Pando aspen clone in Utah, which is technically one organism, over 80,000 years old, connected by a single root system. These ancient organisms have been running their communication network since before humans invented the wheel. The wisdom encoded in how these trees have adapted, the chemical signals they've refined, the survival strategies they've built into their shared root systems, it's all still active, still running. Those trees have been alive, communicating and adapting longer than every human civilization combined. And we almost missed it entirely because we assumed that if something doesn't move and doesn't make noise we can hear, it must not be doing much. Turns out we were just not paying attention the right way. Here's what this actually means for us. Scientists are now studying mycorrhizal networks to understand how to build more resilient forests, fight climate change, and even model new kinds of communication technology. The forest already figured out a distributed, cooperative, self-repairing internet. We're just learning to read the manual. So the next time you walk past a tree, just know, it's not just standing there, it's talking, it's listening. It's part of a conversation that's been going on for millions of years. You're just not on the network yet. Follow for more wild science every single day. There's so much more where this came from.